Hey, this is Paul Sponcia, the CEO of the IT company. As many videos as I've done, I guess everybody knows that, and I don't need to keep telling people who I am. But I'm here with my friend Karen Clark, who has a really cool background and career. And I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about what she has done and what she is doing now, and then we'll talk about why we're together.
Thanks, Paul. Hi, everyone. My name is Karen Clark. I'm the director of Somerset's Technology Advisory Services. My background is really largely in large healthcare operations where I was a CIO for over 20 years. And I thought by talking to Paul this morning, we might be able to give some folks some tips now that they have had to move some of their workforce home.
You said something in a lunch and learn that you and I did maybe in the year or two ago now that I thought was really eye-opening about this had to do with healthcare, but like the costs associated with a breach. And it really drove the point home. Like you said, hey, we have this many records, this many people. So just in postage to notify all those people. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. And we were talking about the costs when as a business owner, if you're evaluating the cost for some of these, all the different security products and services you can buy, and there are a lot of them, and it can cost a lot of money. But in healthcare, for example, I was with an organization that had under 1 million records in our database, and one of our board members asked, "Gee, do we really need to spend this? I think it was $40,000 or $50,000 on this, whatever we were buying. Why should we spend that much money?" And I explained, I said, well, under the OCR guidelines, if our patient database is breached, we have to notify our patients by postal mail. And we had at that time 866,850 something records in our database. I said, that's $440,000 in postage before you even get started with the problem. And
That's
so
crazy.
I think that's the thing. You've got to put that in balance. And maybe 8 or 10 years ago, the prospect of being hacked or compromised felt to people as though that happened to other people, but not to us. But I doubt there's anybody listening today that hasn't either had it happen to them or had it happen to a close friend or a business associate. So it's no longer a small percentage of people this happens to.
Yeah, I've gotten the email that said, the hacker email that says that says what my password is. And not my current password, but a past password, because I've used a password at, who's the big credit bureau that got hacked?
Equifax.
Equifax. So, hey, all bets are off. If you use Equifax, like whatever password you use has been compromised, so it doesn't take much. So that being said, how do we continue to raise employees' awareness? Because the saying is true that our best firewall is our employee. The end user is the best firewall. So what do we do to keep their awareness at the highest level?
Well, it's a very difficult thing because all of us are being bombarded all day long with notices about hacks or this is dangerous or look out for this. And honestly, at some point, I think it becomes noise.
Yeah.
And people just say, yeah, I know. So I found the most effective way to talk to your employees is if you have had a personal experience in your organization where your accounting department almost wire transferred $10,000 that they shouldn't have, or someone's email was hacked and there was an attempt against their bank account or business associate, if you can any way make it personal to your employees, your company, the people you do business with, that is going to get people's attention in a much more way than a generalized warning.
Yeah.
There's also some great resources. There's a security company called KnowBe4, and it's spelled KNOWBE numeral 4, and they do a paid for security awareness and pen testing, that kind of stuff. But one of the things they've put out during this crisis is a free home security session. People can go to their website and sign up for the free one. It costs nothing. And it's very good, and it gives specific examples of this is what a hacked email looks like. This is the kind of language they use. They'll very often use a sense of urgency. Your password is going to expire this Friday. Change it now. There are a lot of hacks coming out now via text message as well as email related to the $1,200 payment
Mm,
from the government that
yeah.
everybody's looking for.
Yep.
Log in here to make sure you get your $1,200 payment. And
Hmm.
so the Know Before site is good because it gives some specific examples. But I think if you were to tell your employees, read the FBI notices, put them out there and say, guys, right now there's a high incidence of hacks and tricks, scams
Hmm.
related to the $1,200 payment. If you see anything like that, don't answer it. If you get a text, if you get a web link in a text message, don't click on it. Just give them some specific
Yeah,
tools rather than generalized be careful message, which I don't know how much that really does
I
for
agree.
anybody's awareness.
Yeah, the tools like Know Before, we deploy that for customers, and
Oh, okay.
it's powerful. It's a powerful product that does everything, testing and notifications, and it's really really good.